I think we still have. Oh, no, it is 4 o'clock. All right, let's go ahead. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good afternoon, everyone. It is 4 p.m. on April 3rd, 2026, or 13th, yeah. And I'm calling the Port of Allyn Board of Commissioners regular meeting to order. Welcome to our April regular meeting. We're glad you are here. We hope today to discuss the items on our agenda. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature a verbal public comment period. Below, we begin with a couple of housekeeping items. A friendly reminder to please silence cell phones to prevent disruptions. If you're attending virtually, please make sure you are muted unless you are the authorized active speaker. Here at the Port of Allyn, we are striving to foster a welcoming environment and create a community standard of respectfulness and fairness in how we conduct our discourse and operate our meetings. Please see the Port public comment policy posted at the front of the meeting room and on the Port's website for Port's full explanation and decorum. We welcome and encourage participation in our meetings by providing public comment for the commissioner's consideration. However, to maintain effective efficiency in our meetings, verbal public comments is only a one-way communication to the board and not a question and answer or back and forth dialogue. We also ask the public comment in a manner that is civil and respectful. All verbal public comments are limited to 3 minutes. While verbal public comments is one manner in which the port may accept public comments, other channels remain open to the public, such as submitting written public comment prior to the meeting. The agenda for this evening is posted at the front of the meeting room and on the port's website. Thank you for taking an interest in your community. All right. Now, public comment.
Jeff Carey, Highland Lake. I'll just rattle off a couple of things and catch up, on the minutes, page 5 to 8, the fourth line, the words, you got different words in the report. You'll see just spelling error.
Is it March 9th or which minutes?
The regular meeting.
Oh, yeah,
page
not March 9th.
Fourth line. Anyway, so that needs correcting. On the budget for this year, I believe that it should, looking at financial report, we have it should be amended to take into consideration the funds that came in as a result of derelict vessel that you moved. The reason I say that is if you look at the balance, it gives kind of a false premise. It looks like your head is, once you get be compensated for it, reimbursed, it looks like you're ahead because it was never in the budget. So you end up with, in this case, 99,000, whatever it was ahead. So, and if you think I'm all wet, look at it. Just look at it and say, okay, how does it look when you do it? How does it look? And all I'm saying is, appearance wise, it looks, I believe it's a way to do it to make it more clean, much cleaner looking, much more transparent. With regards to the comprehensive plan, I also believe that the court should add to that list some look into the issue of a better software package to have better oversight of the finances than currently what you have. It's not that you're not getting results, you're getting some, but it doesn't cut it when it comes to grants. It doesn't have like this vessel issues, and it's difficult to know exactly where you are. I could figure it out, but it's it doesn't come in nice and clean, and I've testified to that in the past. So I think that should be looked at. I don't say that the port should change overnight. I'm not saying to do that. What I'm really saying is take next year or two, look at it and figure out a better approach so that you have better oversight as a board and so the public gets better oversight. Another item, when I look at the website, there's a thing with the audit, state audit. There's in my mind, there's a question that it leads you to direction, then there's no statement. What did the state ask the board to do? It doesn't say anything, or at least I didn't find it. I'll leave this final. Like with the legal fees that you collect, or some legal fees that you pay, they're out of the water fund. And I don't need an answer, but you just need to think about it, are those gonna be paid out of the, operations, or are they gonna be paid out of capital facilities? In my mind, they should be out of the operations. And remember my rule that I've given in past meetings, for every $1,200 you add over, that's another $1 to everybody per month and over a year to the users. So think it, I asked to think of, give it careful consideration and go from there. The rest I'll put in writing later. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a public comment? Well, first,
We have to.
yes, we need to be able to record it so everybody can hear you.
Because you have me an extra pen, my pen went out.
My name is Steve Rose and I live in the fourth district. And I went to the ribbon cutting for the new park. What a great celebration they had down there. It was very organized. They had great cookies. These are important things. I had my little dog with me, and what a great opportunity for our city and our area. I imagine that we could have music in the park, up in there, beautiful things like that. These are doable things with a little organization. And I already told Mindy about it. And I'd like to be a part of it. And I say hats off to you guys for putting the only public head in North Mason County. I think that's wonderful. And there's gonna be problems, of course, but we'll solve them. It's better than having people do their thing everywhere. Might as well give them a place to do it. This is my opinion, but I wanted to let you know if you had bad comments about this, here's a good one, because I really enjoyed it. I thought the plan that you had, the schematic, very good ideas. So my 2 cents.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else? All right, on Zoom?
Okay, yes, commissioners, yeah, this is Joe Cedarland. I'm a landowner in Allyn. And just wanted to make public comment tonight regarding the port's charter of supporting economic growth and development. I have nothing against parks, and I like parks, and I think that they are important for the public to have access to nice facilities and recreation. But the Port of Allyn should not be in the parks business. The Port of Allyn should be supporting economic growth and development, and it should be focused on opening a business park, create jobs in the port district. That's what the port's created to do. The ports involve commerce and shipping and industry, and that's what ports were created for. And that's what the ports in Washington State should be doing. And they should not be dabbling into all different types of things that are not related to their core mission. And when you do that, it scatters your focus, and focus is extremely important to be successful. And the port has got too many irons in the fire, and they're not completing any of them in a manner that is acceptable to the public. And the Sweetwater Park should not have been opened to the public without all the danger trees being removed, because those dead trees, even if a small branch falls from high up in a tree that tall, it could kill somebody walking underneath it. And that's a liability to the port, which is ultimately a liability to the public. And it wouldn't have taken too much to get those trees removed, and that should have been addressed before the park was open. So that's something the port should have taken a lot more seriously. There's been a lot of mishaps already with Sweetwater Park, and the port needs to get out of the park business and focus on its mission and start looking for a property to put a business park on to create jobs, because we need jobs in Washington State. We need jobs in Allyn, and the port would generate a lot more revenue if it was operating business parks. There would be a lot of businesses leasing those spaces from the port. There'd be a lot of revenue coming in.
30 seconds,
The port
Mr.
would
Chairman.
be generating a lot more revenue by expanding the marina and getting more docks put in Allyn, and just by generating those leases to the boaters would benefit the businesses in Allyn for all the boat traffic coming in. The dock leases would generate a lot of consistent revenue for the port, more than the water systems, much more than any park is ever going to generate. Parks are a liability, and they are
Time, Mr. Chairman.
not a moneymaker on the balance sheet. So the port needs to consider these things. And I thank you for taking my comment tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Steele. Anybody else have a comment on Zoom? All right. Okay, next part is the approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's confirmed. All right, now it's consent. It's
Consent agenda.
a what?
Consent agenda.
Yeah, the consent, sorry, right, yeah. Approval of the consent agenda items. Do I hear?
Aye.
May I interrupt you?
Sure.
And Mr. Carey mentioned a spelling error on page 5 of the budget.
Reports 9, Phyllis.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What's that in for?
What page? I'm sorry.
Thank you. I will make that.
You found it? Okay. So with corrections then,
Yes. Yeah.
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who made the first motion?
Kobe.
Thank you.
It passed. All there is.
Mhm.
All right. All right, commissioners report.
Mr. You want to start?
You're doing that. Here you
Busy month. I went to the regular court meeting, of course, March 9th, March 12th. The North Mason Community Voice meeting, was held here, and Travis and I were the guests. March 17th, I went to the HCP eligibility class via Zoom. Bonnie is applying for the grant, for the Oyster House. That's a historical program. And March 19th, I have the state auditor review meeting. March 23rd was the workshop attended here. March 30th, the court date in Shelton. April 1st, the port water consolidation meeting. With PAPE and staff, PAPE company. And then April 2nd was the state auditor exit meeting. April 2nd went to a DNR focus group, which isn't necessarily port related, but that is my district. April 6th, another court date. April 7th, I went to the Mason Transit Authority orientation. Now that I'm on the board, and April 9th, of course, helped with sending out water bills, and April 10th, the Sweetwater Park ribbon cutting at Sweetwater Park.
All right, thank you.
All right, for me, I went to the secondary meeting on the 23rd of last month, and then I went to various, events for the school, including Little League and some of the high school games. That is what I did last month.
Okay. All right, I went to the EDC meeting on the 12th. Let's see. On 23rd, I went to the special meeting. On the 30th, I went to court in Shelton. On the 31st, I went to the legislators wrap up in Shelton. On the first, I went to the Port Water System meeting where they're setting up, getting ready to combine the two water systems. Let's see. On the 6th, I went to the court for the port in Shelton. And then, let's see. It was, yep, and then on the 8th, doing a water line repair, and it's also, they were working on the doing more of the consolidation up there, and I was up there with some of that. And then on the 10th, I went to the ribbon cutting for the Sweetwater. Somewhere I missed the on the 9th, I went to the EDC meeting too. So. Yeah, that's it. All right. Executive Director's Report.
Well, you've all had a chance to read it. Is
Mhm.
there any questions that are burning, since, digesting it?
None for here.
Yep.
Okay. Well, perhaps then we can process through the old business items, that are associated with it.
All right, that'll work. Yeah. So that's where
Okay,
we're
the
at.
comprehensive school improvements. Something I wanna have on every meeting going forward until, we really put something together to keep it on the mind of the commission. It's, something that, we will be working on pretty much every month until budget time. Put ourselves in a position to approve a new scheme.
Have you been able to do some of the corrections yet or input them in the new?
No, I have not.
Okay,
That's why there's really nothing added to it.
okay,
It's been a fairly,
sure,
consuming.
I get
month
that.
on other front.
Mhm.
We can discuss that as well. Of course, the audit is now complete and that's publicly available now. I'm sure you had a chance to see all those documents.
Yeah, we did real well.
Yeah, no findings, so that's always a plus, for sure. Water system development, I would like the commission to consider, I'm inviting Jeff Carey, the chair of the water committee, to report on that.
This point or in the meeting, you have this entry here for the committee report.
Yeah, that's where we're at now.
Okay.
We're under water system development.
Yeah, consider it. So, do you consider? it?
Yeah, we can say, yeah, we can say, yeah.
Jeff Carey, chair of the water committee, proposed water committee for the water system. Right now, the committee is working down through the extension agreements in the sense, not so much the agreement, that's already been created, but the construction portion of it. So what the port's gonna have, such as where it's gonna have valves, how the valves are gonna be set up, how and what type of pipe is gonna be used, so on and so forth. So we're gonna be wrapped up in probably several meetings of that over the next 2 or 3 months. This is all in preparation to hopefully augment and mitigate some of the costs when it comes to upgrading the water system plant. Because that's something that the board's gonna need to upgrade or update this year, and that's gonna be needed to among other things, one, just the finances, two, the agreements for developers and all this, but also the fact of being able to connect, assuming engineering can prove it out, addition over and above the 150 limit that the port has currently at this moment in time. with the 132 that the board had originally with their water system plan back in 2018, along with the 14 picked up from my system, my old system. I've outlined some on the water system plan itself. That's going to be a fairly detailed update, but like I said, we're trying to do things. We kind of broke it down into, and the committee's going to be reviewing more. We just started the process, but where you look at things and say, okay, what can staff or the committee do? What can maybe our satellite management agency or somebody like that do? And what must be done by engineering? In an attempt to hopefully make come together with a plan that, it'll have to be finally stepped by an engineer. But basically to create a plan that's not gonna, be 100K plan like Belfer Water or even like the village, because expensive plans. And a lot of materials there's still a lot of material to update. There's a fair amount of engineering in the capacity and what it can do and can't do the system, but the bottom line is, I think we can save a significant amount if everybody. We can utilize different people's talents, i.e. the committee, i.e. staff. Potentially it's not like management people, because they're monitoring what you do, so there's things they can help with the maintenance in putting together the plan, or at least reviewing it. So that's a big step we're doing. What other things? And there's also, we're looking at things like auto flushing on lines where they're dead ended, but nobody's on the last couple hundred feet. We're looking at specs, having constant specs, because I have different specs, the port had different specs, and they use two different specs like on blow offs. So we got like 3 or 4 different approaches to a blow off that maintenance wise, the paying pro, and function wise, it's not good. So those are things we're looking at correcting. One big, I mentioned like pipe. And it's interesting because the committee has different feelings about different types of pipe, and it's based upon different experiences. So a lot of it now is what they call the C900 series pipe, that blue pipe you see. But there's pros and cons to everything. So we're looking at it at the same time. We're also trying to look at this from a developer standpoint and say, we want this easy for the port to maintain, consistently for the port to maintain, but we don't want to break make it impossible to develop on and to extend services so the system can grow. So those are things that are being debated, argued, and worked out with the committee. And so, as I mentioned in the last meeting, so far with the 3 or 4 3 different levels of water system experiences, it's working very well. So what else on that? So construction space, addressing. Oh yeah, it's funny. There's why you look. We're referencing other water systems that are much bigger to try to look at what they're doing, what we can work into ours cost effectively, not creating the top of the line, but at the same time a reliable system, both reliably and safe. In the plat of Allyn, it has its own unique issues with easements. So what water systems we do, like in Belfair or Kitsap County, what have you, is significantly different than what, especially in the old plat of Allyn. The requirements, the space, the different things, and we're trying to work that through so that lot owners can develop, but know how to develop. And there's peculiarities, but it'll all work out. It just needs to be documented so people know going forward. What else? Oh, yes. I brought to the committee's attention I think it was the last meeting, but and we haven't discussed hardly anything on it, but I want to let the board know, I think I mentioned in the last meeting, that where the port is right now, statistically, meaning in summer you use more water, winter you use less, that kind of thing, but like in March, annualized, the port's only using about 20 to 22 acre feet of water. And that's with 100 connections. So you start looking at how growth would go and and start extending out. the port's gonna need to address water rights at some point because you have 314. And, you know, the state, the tribes, everybody is gonna wanna try to, put the pressure on reducing. That's fine, but we need to document, we need to plan and look at what the county is advising as far as build out in their 20-year growth and work that in to, and that's something we, at least, me as one member of the committee can work at and facilitate so that the engineers know how to engineer the system and so that we can come back to a number and say, well, okay, maybe it's, 200, but you get a number so that it doesn't pinch the development of, curtail the development of the port's water system. So. This last but not least, we haven't addressed this, but I've asked committee members to start looking at the water system budget. Some have experience, some don't have experience with it, but I'm trying to get everybody on the same page so that, when we talk about, operations, what those are, talk about capital facilities, what's gonna be the policy of the port going forward with connection fees, how much it's gonna be, recommendations, again, if the board's gonna approve it. But recommendations to the board, ideas to the boards, some of it may be a toss up. Here's the pros and cons, if you can't decide, but at least you can see the pros and cons and three different choices, like I said. So other than that, it's a nitty gritty committee, meaning that you get in the weeds and the tech specs real quick. But it's working. So. Even when we don't agree, it's still working, so,
I'm really thankful for that committee, thank you.
right, so, well, you picked them, so.
But still, glad it's there.
Yeah, so anyway, appreciate the other two members and hopefully we'll grind it out and come up with something that's acceptable to the board and keep it moving ahead, but there's a lot, but we're behind the eight ball in one sense that we should have been doing this years ago, but we can get to it. And I'll say it again. I'm not for trying to make the port water numbers higher, the cost of connecting. My objective, as Travis will know, is to try to reduce them, to figure out how to reduce it, but with the caveat that the system's got to pay for itself. It's got to pay for itself, and when you get these surprises, like, and I say surprises, we'll get into the schedule, but when you had the issue like of cleaning out the tank. It's in the numbers, and so you have capacity, it's not a big deal. We're 20-some years, I think 20 years now into this tank. And at some point, we'll have to, we're coming up, I'm not quite, but we're coming up close, within 2 years. And so, they say the life is it's 35. You've got to plan for that, you can't just pretend there's grants for everything and try to fix it on a hope and a prayer. So anyway, that's my report. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very much.
Before going for the commission, if I may, I think it'd be prudent to at least speak to the reimbursement completion from the DNR. On March 27th, board received 100% reimbursement from the DNR derelict vessels program.
Oh, yes.
$99,731.02 for the expenses related to the sea barrels. And if you look at the consent agenda where it shows the March treasury funds, you'll notice that in $88,070.33. It's because we can only transfer $50,000 at a time from the bank. And that was right when they were doing their reporting. So the other $50,000 is in the account, but doesn't reflect in the March treasury.
It's a bank policy that they'll only take 50,000 at a
They
time.
only let you transfer from ACH $50,000 in a single day.
Are all banks like that or just that
I
one?
can't speak to that.
Pretty
It's
much.
just hard.
Pretty much.
Okay, 'cause
ACH, I mean,
it seems kind
Otherwise,
of
you're
a,
in the world of wire transfers, which are different.
okay.
Anyway, just wanted to back you up a little bit there, back to water system development.
the consolidation progress?
Yeah, I can give a report on that. So on April sixth, no, here we go. Papenstein Construction has broken ground on the consolidation work to merge the Port of Allen well system with the Allyn Perry well system. These two Class A systems will effectively become one and operate with redundancy. If a single well cannot function, the other can supply the entirety of the services attached to all infrastructure under the port's water system control. Some of the underground work around the well house got completed this week. An 8x8x6 inch T is now connected to the main line and feeds the tank, as well as an 8x8x3 inch T for merging the two systems together per the engineer's design approved by the DOH. And that has been compacted and backfilled, and
So they got
that portion is done for now. They aren't scheduled for this week to work because they still have a few parts that are on delivery.
Oh,
So they should be starting that next week, I hope. They didn't seem to think like it was a big deal to start last week without those parts showing up, so.
Great.
okay.
In fact, they've already patched the asphalt where it needed to be patched as well. All sealed up.
Oh, there we go.
And then I'll just speak to the late notice and disconnect notices have been working to great effect to get people to at least keep up with their billings. So I plan on having a document together for the next meeting showing the commission where the remaining outstanding dollars are. Wanted to give it a few months to really kind of suck up some of those charges. A couple of houses did sell an escrow that had considerable amounts of owed water usage fees on them, and those were paid to the tune of over $4,000. So catching up.
That's great. On that same note, for the leak repair on Sullivan,
Yes,
okay, I was there the one day.
right.
But going through the report, I noticed that then there are multiple other leaks as well.
Yes, so there was, we got informed there was a leak on April 6th on the Sullivan Street addresses. That is the port's responsibility side of the valve. And it was found that a check valve was installed that didn't meet the port's requirements. And those were replaced by Zephyr Construction, who were able to come out and make that repair quickly.
Was that put in those valves and check valves?
Those were put in previously by a developer.
They're put in by the developer?
Yes,
So since those didn't meet our standards, right?
what was installed was not what the port standards were. No,
So can we, instead of us having to pay for that labor or the parts?
that would be something for port's legal advisors to talk about.
Okay, cause I mean, we're trying to keep prices down. Doesn't help.
Yeah,
if
no,
we're-
we will explore all avenues.
All right, good.
Because what happened is when that one started leaking and it got repaired, went to investigate the box next to it and it started leaking. So we repaired that one. And then the next day, another address in the same block started leaking.
So now we gotta do all of them.
So we replaced those two because it was a double service, not to
Right.
open up the ground next to one, and not replace it with the proper equipment to meet the port's minimum design standards. So at some point here in the future, we will look into replacing all of them because they are prone to fail.
Do we have an average cost of per replacement?
No, I know that the second replacement is gonna be cheaper than the first one. Because it was completely figured out on how the process was going to be, but I'm yet to be built by that, so it was just.
Mostly.
Okay. I guess now the marine floats,
Yes, did you have a chance to read the preventative maintenance contract that was proposed?
yes.
Now, how long is that contract for? I didn't,
So that's a
6 months.
6-month contract.
okay,
So it covers, they're intended to be biannual contracts, so that cost there times 2 would be a full year of a preventative maintenance contract.
okay, was
And
that,
then that cost of the $3,100 and change per 6-month period includes 16 man hours of labor
okay,
and a full evaluation. So if you do the numbers, it's about what it costs for
Us to
them
do
to
it.
do the work anyway.
Okay,
And I also had them incorporate the pump out stations for maintenance. Which we have a maintenance and operations grant that pays 75% of those costs.
mhm,
So when they do the work and they do that part of the work, we have them invoice that separately, and then we have a 75% reimbursement.
great,
So-
that's good.
In
Which-
the end, is
Which
this,
which still fits into the budget for the amount of money that we budgeted for that type of maintenance and operations.
Yeah,
okay, and in the end, it'll save us money even.
Well, and it also, what it does is it puts the professionals on the job twice a year. Looking at it, evaluating it, creating a list, knocking some of those punch list items off every 6 months. For the amount of money we have, and then we also get a reduced rate if we have emergency. It drops the rate that they charge per hour by about, I think it's $40 an hour.
That can add up, that can add up quick.
If we have the contract. So, it's something that I recommend the commission, doing. And it is within our budget for the year to start with this 6 months, and then next year, when we rebudget money for the year, we can reevaluate perhaps how much we're allocating to our maintenance there. Because part of the maintenance that is budgeted for dock maintenance also has the pump out station maintenance. Which if we continue to get the maintenance and operations grants, allows us to have reimbursement for some of those costs.
well, I'm for that, I think, cause I looked at it and I think it'd be great. I don't know if you need a motion to do that, unless that's just under your,
Yeah, it's under my review, but I always like to bring things like that to the commission, so
On,
say yay or nay.
yeah, I'm for it. As
well,
long as it's gonna save us money in the end and get better quality out of it, kind of makes sense.
well, I'll move to accept the contract for, I forgot their name already here.
Marine
Yeah,
floats.
thank you, for Marine Float Stock Master Program.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. All right, let's see. Anybody want, anything about the Oyster House?
Yeah,
You
just
wanna
a
talk
few
about-
updates, I don't know if you wanna talk about anything, Dan?
Well, out the door is all installed that we purchased. So hopefully we can send pictures to the state historical society. She accepted the door before we purchased it, so I'm assuming she'll accept now. Installed. I don't know for sure. We'll see what she said.
All right, and then also, we have a volunteer who's gonna paint. Maybe he's not volunteering, but anyway, I'm helping with materials, so. The Oyster House will get washed and then painted probably before, well, in the next 30 days. So it'll look good.
That'll make it look a whole lot nicer sitting there
Yeah.
until we.
Yep.
Which I think people will appreciate.
Also, I can mention, we've gotten some preliminary design work done from the engineer. Showing a few different options.
Oh, good.
On how to, put it over the water there on a substructure. So, continuing to work with that before I bring more of it to the commission, but, should have a pretty sizable update by next meeting.
Great. All right, what time frame are we looking at before we can act? We think.
I can't give you a time frame on that.
All right, I just wanna try to get it,
Yeah,
get these things that we've had for a long time done. So we can,
Getting there.
it's one step at a time, but. I'm always impatient when things done now.
Which I wanna thank our volunteers, Dan and Barry, for putting their shoulder to the work. Thank you.
Definitely appreciate. Let's see, there was no port safety and security. If I remember correctly to talk about. All right, so the next part is we need to be setting our time and date for our March meeting.
The 27th at 4 PM works for me.
Or April,
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
At 4 p.m.?
Yes.
that works for me too.
Okay. All right, so we get through 4 and set 5. It makes it a lot easier for me, so. That'll
Yeah.
work.
Really, the only reason I had it at 5 p.m. last month was I had that Marine Floats, walk through that day.
Sure.
If I can, I would I prefer 4 p.m. on days as well.
Okay,
Also to note, I will be at the school board meeting on the 27th at 6:30 after that meeting.
Okay. The Sweetwater Creek project update.
Yeah, so you're aware that we've completed our corrective action plan to satisfaction with the RCO.
That was a biggie.
Yeah. Public access has now been granted to the area. And Commissioner Curtin, Commissioner Scott was there at the April 10th ribbon cutting. And then reporting the Canal Sound Hands Group will continue to work through that memorandum of agreement to find funding opportunities to progress the project, which is mostly them working towards it, not I. That pretty clear.
yeah,
Need to make it, on that, we need to make it clear that we don't want people going and putting ribbons around trees. And stuff like that say killer trees and all that stuff. It's not appropriate for people to be marking our trees.
New items?
Yep, all right. The action request letter for the support of the DNR renovation of Green Mountain Horse Camp Shelter Project, RCO application 26-13-3.
yes, like I,
303.
yeah, like I said, I went to the DNR meeting and part of it, Peter Allyn, who's the volunteer coordinator for the South Puget Sound area. He's the grant writer for everything, and so he asked us if we could do a letter of support, and as you know, Tahuya Forest and Green Mountain, of course, is Kitsap County, but as you know, tourism is really important for Belfair, Allen economic, health. And those two, this in particular also gets a lot of usage, so thank you for writing it. I definitely will support this, so.
Yeah, I've been and used that camp before, where they had a club that went up there and we did a trail thing.
Oh,
and
cool.
stuff. Quite a few years ago now, but I really enjoyed it. That was something.
I've ridden up there
I've-
quite a bit.
Yeah, I've definitely, yeah,
Stayed up there a lot, so. It's been great.
I'm definitely for it.
I, Commissioner Tremblay, move to sign the support letter for the DNR renovation of Green Mountain Horse Camp Shelter Project, RCO application 26-13-03.
Do I hear
a
a
second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. It gets paper part work done.
This is.
Yep, that's for that one. All right, the next one is removal of former Commissioner John A. Sheldon as Sheridan. As an authorized signer of the Port of Allen's Kitsap Bank accounts.
All right, I, Commissioner Kobe Trevlin, move to remove John A. Sheridan from the following Port of Allen Kitsap bank accounts, accounts ending in 9511, accounts ending in 5711, and cash management. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimously.
Thank you, Steve.
All day already.
You bet.
Breaking this.
That'd keep me up all night.
All right. Third part. Authorization,
Do I need to sign anything?
Not on that one,
No,
no.
okay.
okay. Authorize of Commissioner Michael Curtin for administrator of the Kitsap Bank cash management account for the Port of Allen.
All right, I, Commissioner Kobe Trevlin, move to authorize Commissioner Michael Curtin to be administrator on the Kitsap Bank cash management account. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Letter of support for the Theller Trails renovation and signage updates. Project RCO application number 26-1606 DEB.
All right, I, Commissioner Kobe Trevway, move to sign a support letter for the Theller Trails renovation and signage updates, project RCO application number 26-1606 DEB. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously.
That's what I'm Let's sign that one, I'm working on this one.
Good, good. Okay, now the monthly booth at the new Belfair Farmers Market, I guess that's on you, right?
Yeah, well, actually, it's
Which
one of
one?
my tenants is gonna have a public market, I guess is what he called it. It's 2 weeks in May and then in June. So I'd like to have the port have a booth there for 1 week, probably the second week, I think. I think it's the 17th of May. I can't remember what date that is now. And then there's one in June, which would be the second or third week. So I'll go ahead and pay for the booth, and so if you guys wanna show up and
Well,
meet your constituents, it's just to hang out. and
okay, just to
Just to be
shake
there.
hands and
Yeah.
that type of thing. We're not selling anything or.
When is the farmer's market?
It's May, let me look here, I think I put it in here.
30th?
No, it's not the 30th. Wrong
What's
one.
sports fest?
And it's on a Sunday afternoon,
Oh, okay.
so it's at 2, it opens at 2. It's May 17th.
17th, is that the one at the Fairland?
Like, actually, no, it's at Legacy Home Center. This is a public market. It's actually not a farmer's market.
Okay.
It's not official. It's just the public who's putting it on. Because they're my tenants, I thought I'll show up.
So May 17th,
Yeah,
And what day do you want us to do this?
it's May 17th.
That's the
is
day you
where,
want,
yeah.
you want us, okay.
Cause they're having it on the 3rd and then the 17th, and then in June it is.
So it's not a farmer's market, it's a,
No, cause I thought it was a farmer's market, but he put public market. It's just where he's gonna have a bunch of vendors. They'll be selling food and crafts and stuff like that. And he'll probably be giving away some food too.
okay, does Travis need to put out a,
Yeah, he
I'll
will,
put on.
for sure.
What date in June was that?
This, in June, it would probably be the 21st.
21st Father's Day?
Yeah,
So yeah, May 17th and June 21st.
correct.
alright, what time?
It starts at 2. And I don't think it goes very long, maybe 5.
Okay,
Is that would show our faces,
I
right?
may want to start with May 17th, that one. Alright. Alright. The financial position report.
Yeah, did you get a copy of that to review in the packet?
Yes.
Mhm. I read your
Direct
report.
any questions you might have and answer the best.
I do have a question about the corrections because of the program. What was that? You know, the items that you listed about corrections. I was gonna call you about it earlier, but. I don't have that with me. I don't have my paperwork stuff in front of me, but. Now I feel bad if I don't have all that in front of me.
Okay. Yes, I have it.
I don't have any questions on it. Mike, do you have any questions?
Nope.
No, because everything else is pretty much explained, you know, with the report.
Then I move to approve payment for the Port of Allen's payable fund, vouchers 260400001 TAC. Through 260400014 for the amount of $21,833.15. A general fund voucher 260400015 through 260400038 and 260400048 for the amount of $9,769.91. The water fund vouchers, number 260400039 through 260400047 for the amount of $52,379.92 on the Port of Allen's regular meeting agenda on April 13th, 2026.
I'll second it.
Alright, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's the next one.
Just to note, the payment to Paving Sons. Chose to have it processed now since it began to work. And 2, because we can't process the entire payment all in one swing. So we need to do it in sections and get reimbursed before we make the next payment.
Okay,
This will allow me to start the reimbursement process as soon as they've cashed the check.
great.
Which keeps our cash flow up versus going into the hole. That's me. All right, next part is the good of the order.
Well, just my good of the order is that, which is the Forest Cleanup Day is this coming Saturday. Starting at 9 o'clock at the Oak Patch Camp or Camp Oak Patch. Off of Effendale Pass Road. 9 AM. Lunch provided.
Well, that's the one you're providing, right?
Right. I'm getting a lot of help, actually, the veterans from Port Orchard are helping and Legacy Home Center is helping, so it's been good.
All right. Sure, that is good.
What's the name of the camp?
It's Oak Patch.
Oak Patch?
Yeah, it's not really named, it's past Spillman Road. If you're coming from Belfair to Huya, turn right on Spillman Road. I mean, on Effendale Pass, turn right on Effendale Pass, and then you go about 2 miles. And you go past the Spillman Road and it's on the curve on the left.
They probably have signs and balloons or something.
Yeah, they should.
What day was that on again?
Saturday, this Saturday, 18th. And there'll be like an orientation at 9 o'clock from DNR, Department of Natural Resource.
Okay,
Explain what to watch for and
not sure if we can make it, but take a look. All right, anybody, do you have any? good order?
No, just thanks everybody for coming, especially repeat customers on Zoom, in person. We really appreciate the support, so thanks for continuing to do that.
yeah, thank you.
All right, that's it. On that note, we're adjourned.